All right, this is part two of the design styles. So the first one today is the farmhouse style. And in the farmhouse style, we have a neutral palette. And when we learn colors towards the end of this week or next week, you'll find that neutrals means things like white, brown, gray, black, things that are not actual colors like yellow. Um, so farmhouse is always very neutral for its palette or its color scheme. We also see a lot of worn items, like worn out, like they have scratches and scuffs and sandings on them, and that's the way they are wanted to look, whether it's on purpose or it's actually old, so it's been used and looks that way. We also see a lot of metal and wood materials in this look, because that's just reminiscent of farm. Signage is something used very much to decorate in this style. Actual farm equipment could be used sometimes. Beadboard that you see around because that's just a nice liney texture. Shiplap and greenery. Lots of that around. And a lot of these things are very similar to the bohemian style that we talked about yesterday. Like the characteristics, like the neutral palette, the worn items, the metal, the wood, the greenery, but very different look. Bohemian and farmhouse, very different overall look. So it's how you use those similar items in different ways that make them different. The coastal style, I hope you could look at this and just know that this is coastal. But it's warm whites with pops of color, usually blue or green, because that is reminiscent of the ocean. Obviously, there's lots of chunky paneling and trim, which means anywhere you see wood as like a main eye-catching piece, it's very thick, chunky. Chunky is the word we use. This is just thick and heavy and quality and sturdy. We see a lot of glass and baskets used in decoration. Glass is reminiscent of sea glass that you find on the beach, and baskets like the sea oats that weave baskets. So these are elements that could naturally be found in a coastal area and are used to create accessories in these rooms. And that goes with the coastal inspired decor, like very themey items like starfish, for example. Please pause if you need more time on this question. The hacienda style. This one's very fun. Think Mexican restaurant almost, but like a well done Mexican restaurant, not a badly done one, because we have some of those around. Terracotta roof. This. A colorful Maiolica tiles, which, where is my example in the pictures? Is my face in the way? My face is in the way. Okay. Down here on the floor, it kind of looks like a rug, but they're tiles in a way. It's got the designs, the patterns. Stucco walls. Stucco is a material that is like concrete and types of minerals, but it overall has like a concrete type of texture, just slightly smoother, but with some nice purposeful lumps in it. Arches are common. Tile flooring, like the Maiolica, but tile flooring, whether it's Maiolica or terracotta or ceramic, because they're in hot climates, so a tile floor is very cool under your feet. Lots of plant life. Plant life is very common in lots of styles. And ironwork. Iron is a type of metal. So like this lantern is ironwork. These outdoor accents have ironwork in them. These lanterns. Lots of times you'll see grates over the door that is ironwork, and even the furniture can be made out of ironwork. The mid-century modern style is pretty common. It had a big comeback like a year ago, like super popular. I'm afraid it's going away again, but I hope not. I really like it. And it's literally what the name is. It's from the middle of the last century, like from 50s to 65-ish, was the mid-century modern look, and then it made a comeback. So there's a horizontal emphasis on the furniture, meaning lots of horizontal lines and lots of just like wide and low furniture. Lots of wood, lots of tapered legs. The shape of legs on all of these pieces of furniture is what we call tapered, where it's thicker at the top and then it goes down skinnier and skinnier. Everything feels very low, and there's a big use of vintage colors. The industrial style, think lofts. Think you rent an apartment on the second or third floor of a downtown building, an old downtown building where you've still got like the old paint or the old brick in the walls, and you can see the original exposed pipes and metal in the ceiling. That's just very cool. It's very industrial. Lots and lots of metal. It has a colder feel because of all that metal and glass and just like the oldness to it. But the brick can help, and the old wood can help bring that warm feel back in. They usually have a lot of modern artwork because while it's a really old building, living in a loft or an industrial style loft is a very modern thing to do. So it has an overall modern feel. And like I said, it's made out of converted buildings in the industrial style a lot of the time, but it's not always. It's not a requirement. Like your traditional house can have an industrial style on the inside to an extent. Of course, you usually want your inside to match your outside somewhat, but it can have some industrial elements inside your house. It doesn't have to be just a loft. The Scandinavian style. This is my favorite style ever. Scandinavian style has a lot of muted colors. Muted just means colors that are not really bright. They've had a lot of gray added to them, or it could be straight up gray. It's a very decluttered space. It's not super, cluttered's the word. It's not super cluttered, like eclectic. It's pretty clean, but it's still like funky enough to have some like artisticness to it. There's a lot of soft elements in Scandinavian design. Like notice in all these rooms, there's blankets, there's pillows, there's rugs, there's fur, there's squishy furniture. It's a lot of softness because that kind of goes against the coldness of the gray, muted colors that are in there. Because if it was all gray and it was hard, it would kind of feel like a jail. But you make it squishy and soft and it's nice. A lot of natural lighting rather than really bright lights. So natural lighting means like big windows, natural sunshine coming in. Modern furniture or mid-century modern furniture coming in. Because you see a lot of the tapered legs. You see a lot of the low furniture, low and long furniture, and all these couches. The wood is always really light colored and smooth, just like the mid-century modern was. And just like a ton of the other styles, there's lots of plant life. But there's a lot more plant life in the Scandinavian style than some others. So there's a definite hint of mid-century mod and boho in the Scandinavian style. And the last one is Moroccan. I've never seen this on a test, but I feel like you should know it exists a little bit, at least have a word to put on the style that you've probably seen before. So lots of mosaic tiles, striped, lush textiles. Lush means, gosh, how do you put that in a word? It means like fancy, luscious. That's the word, luscious, lush. Just like nice, good quality, squishy, just great. Arabesque or quatrefoil patterns are used a lot. Again, you're looking for the dots that match the words to know what that means. Carved wood is super common. There's lots of texture, lots of patterns. Lanterns are very common, whether they're actually used for lights or just used for forms in a room. And then poof seats. Poof is a new term possibly, but there's lots of floor sitting in cultures that use the Moroccan style, like Moroccan culture. But we do Moroccan here some. Like I would say this, and this are rooms that you would probably see in Morocco. Been there, spent time there. But like this and this is more like, oh, you're in America and you want to do Moroccan style. So there's a difference. But you see the poof in both ways. Okay, thank you.